making it as a finalist for the MSU Sales Competition?
A lot of emotions. It was almost mind-boggling in a way because I joined the minor when I was a sophomore, spring of my sophomore year, which was 2 years ago. I'm a senior now. And I just remember walking into the sales competition and seeing all the seniors who were participating and seeing the final four, their sales role play, since it's broadcasted to everyone. I just remember seeing them and just being in such awe of them and thinking, oh, wow, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that one day. And then kind of coming full circle and being one of the top four and being the winner was really, really amazing. I felt very honored as well. There are so many amazing competitors and just so many amazing kids in the minor. Everyone really is so talented and driven that I honestly was not shocked because I didn't think I had the ability, but shocked because I was with such steep competitors.
You did really, really well. I'm sure like people who were watching were like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Like,
Kind of blacked out.
what did your preparation look like for the competition?
Yeah. So I watched all of the Gartner informational videos that were given to all the competitors. And I also went and looked up previous winners' role plays on YouTube and kind of understood what their verbiage was and how they held the call and stuff like that. And then I took notes on each scenario that we were sent and just to get kind of a better idea of who I'd be selling to, what possible pain points I'd be selling to, and possible ideas for rapport building. And then I also started a outline kind of for the call and how I wanted to go. I wanted it to start with rapport, introduction. I wanted to be sure I clarified the time. I wanted to be sure I stated the purpose for the call and explained what Gartner was. And then I kind of went into how I wanted to run the situation questions, problem questions, implication questions, and needs-based questions. And then I just added in trial, close, handle objections, and then close and set next meeting. So I had that to kind of look over so I could make sure that I ticked off all those points to have a successful call.
How many hours do you think you put into it?
It was mostly, honestly, it was mostly over the course of about 2 or 3 days. I didn't do I wasn't super like long-term in preparations. It was really focused on 2 to 3 days before the competition. So it was fresh in my mind. I would say overall, it was probably about 10, 12 hours of prep over the course of 3 days though.
What was the most rewarding part of the experience?
Honestly, what I really loved was two things. The feedback from the judges, it helped tremendously. They were giving me points that I will definitely take into the future in my sales job, especially because I will be working for Gartner. But the feedback was really rewarding. And then also just the validation. I'm really hard on myself, and sometimes I don't give myself enough credit, and the validation of winning was extremely rewarding to me, that I feel like I picked the right career and I picked the right minor and trajectory to go with my life.
How has the sales leadership minor in terms of skills prepared you to perform in the competition?
Oh gosh, in so many ways. I hadn't role played until I was interested in the sales minor. So just introducing me to the idea of role play was all dedicated to the minor. Learning spin selling, also mostly dedicated to the minor, since I took marketing 313 to get into the minor. That's where I was taught spin selling, and that was the technique I used to run the sales calls. And then also just having Jen get us out of our comfort zone in terms of different assignments in Comp 360 and all the experiential learning hours. I was definitely nervous for the competition, but I've been nervous so many times in this minor that it's kind of just second nature now. So that definitely helped a lot. And then lastly, I would say the minor has helped a lot with my professionalism. I really learned how to carry myself and kind of stay calm under pressure in a professional setting. And I owe a lot of that to the minor.
What was the most exciting part of the All MSU competition?
It's so cliche, but when they were revealing the final four, my heart was absolutely racing at that point. I just
Mhm.
like remember like hearing it in my ears. But that was really exciting to see all three names pop up and then no, mine was the last one.
What are some reasons why you would encourage other students to compete in the competition?
A lot. So I would definitely encourage it because it gets you out of your comfort zone. And I feel like I am much more confident to run a sales call on my own, um, as opposed to if I hadn't been introduced to this kind of environment before going into the real world. So definitely just confidence and being able to be comfortable getting out of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
And also just because the feedback is so helpful. There was things that I was given that wouldn't have ever thought of on my own, and I can implement um, now instead of having to be taught maybe possibly in a hard way when I
Mhm.
actually get into my career and my job. And then also it's honestly a really good way to make friends. I would talk with some of the other competitors about what they're doing to prep, if they're nervous, like all this stuff, congratulate them. And it's a good way to get to know a lot of the kids in the minor.
How do you believe your participation in the competition prepares you for your future career?
I believe that it definitely got me used to running a call. It's not something that many college students get the opportunity to do. And being able to learn how to run the call and also deal with different personalities of sellers, since the sellers are given an assignment of a personality they're kind of supposed to imitate. So that helped me a lot to kind of understand how to run a sales call on different personalities because you can't just base it off your personality. You got to be able to tailor yourself to the buyer. And so it helped me with that, being able to run the call, and then also just understanding how to get the necessary information out of someone in order to help crack down on those pain points and show them the value of the service or the product that you're selling. And then also just the value of being able to schedule the second meeting because a lot of the times you don't make a sale in a 20-minute call. You have to get that follow-up meeting. So that was something else that really helped prepare me for going into my career, to always be sure to make that follow-up meeting. Honestly, I was shocked when I made the sale in the final round because I could kind of tell he seemed like he was like really game for it. So I tried and he was like, yeah, okay. And he was like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
you handled like you could definitely tell you knew what you're doing because you also handled the objections really, really well, which was definitely something that stood out compared to like the other competitors who also did amazing, but
Right.
you really told them.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean,
Overall, those are all the questions that I have for you. Is there anything else that you would like to mention, whether that be about the competition or about the minor, anything at all?
I guess I sound like a broken record because I've said this so many times, but truly the minor seems daunting, but if you give yourself enough time to complete the 500 hours, it's very doable and the reward is amazing. I credit so much to this minor, my internship. I mean, it was also partially me. I won't give it all the credit, but it was partially my internship, which then led to my full time job, and then just preparing me professionally is so worth the 500 hours. I would do 1,000 hours for the minor, honestly. It's been life changing.
Okay, well, that concludes our interview. Um, Thank you so much for your time and scheduling this super last minute, but I really appreciate it. Have a good
Yeah,
rest
of
of the night.
course. Yeah, for sure. You too, Sadie.
See ya.